Hello everyone, greetings and namaste. My name is Luke Elijah. I'm here in London with the wonderful Tower Bridge behind me. It's a beautiful day and lots of people are out. And my special guest with me today is spiritual healer and holistic practitioner Raphael Zernoff. Thank you, Raphael, for agreeing to come on my talk show and sharing with us your wonderful life experiences. Right, could you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, how you got started becoming a spiritual practitioner? And how long have you been a practitioner?
Oh, hi Luke.
Yeah.
First of all, nice to have you here in London,
Yes,
finally.
Yes.
When I think about myself, as we described, I think spiritual practitioner is the word that would describe what I do. However, there are so many interests, so many experiences that sometimes it's just easier, exactly, not to have really a label. But I suppose my story is about remembering more of who I am, and I've remembered more than most of people since I was a child, and always was attracted to helping people, but at the same time really working on myself, understanding who I am, looking for different answers to my questions, and those answers always were coming. Sometimes I maybe ignored to see them, but they were always there, and I've come to the place that I do have all my answers. I do know where I am, and I feel I am right now redefining myself in my new reality, and as a part of this redefining is me being there for others, to guide, to help. When it comes to practical things, I mean, I'm an author. I wrote about several books. My first book was a novel. It was more inspiring novel for myself. It's a very beautiful story about a young man living in London and finding his way through awakening and discovering different ancient teachings. Other books are mostly about self-empowerment, self-awareness, interiorization, going inside yourself and finding what matters or answers to your questions inside. I do also work as a mental health specialist in East London for the National Health Services, and I do organize meditation groups for patients, but that's just a tiny part of what I do. Also healings, life coaching, teaching people how to meditate, how to become more aware of the multidimensional selves. So that's the main things.
Yeah, I mean, actually, of all the spiritual practitioners that I've known and I've interviewed, I find speaking with you, I'm actually closest to what you are and what you offer, because like what you say, we do so many things and we can't really pinpoint, and like what you were telling me that, you know, you use the word psychic or clairvoyance, really an outdated name, because we are all psychics. Everyone's clairvoyant. It's just how much they use, they get in tune and in touch. And what we do is even much more than just being psychic or clairvoyant. It's broader than that. It's just being a psychic or clairvoyant. It's just a small subset of the totality of the different services and skills and expertise and interest. You know, we have so much interest. And you see, even yourself, you've written 7 books. One day, you know, I want to be an author of a book myself, and I've been lots of inspiration. Just haven't got down to doing it. For people like me, and you know, people who's listening out there, what advice would you give? Like, how do we get started becoming an author? How did you get started?
I think to be always more playful with who we are, what we want to do, not to become so serious about everything.
Just have fun.
Yes, as we spoke before, that sometimes there is this pressure maybe from society
yes.
that we accept, of course.
Yes.
It's not an excuse to be always looking for something out there,
yes.
having these goals and plans and purposes, but actually the only goal and purpose that we truly have is to be ourselves.
Exactly,
even
just
now,
to be in the present moment.
and that's really give us access to everything else. So for me, writing books wasn't really looking for some kind of fame or even readers. It was all about self-expression, out of excitement of my love and joy of being who I am, to share with others what I enjoy, and at the same time it brings such a wonderful new connections, and it's just wonderful to meet new people like yourself.
Thank
and
you.
It always
Likewise.
reminds us that
Yes.
it is a beautiful dream. This can be a beautiful dream that we are dreaming, and I think when we allow ourselves to remind ourselves about having that dream, that we are dreaming,
Yes.
all this serious stuff goes away.
Goes away
and we
naturally,
actually
yes.
just enjoy where we are,
Yes.
who we are with, and what we do, and it opens up all those doors towards anything that we desire without insistence how it must.
Yes, without
happen.
expectations or any insistence or no, it having to be a particular way. Completely resonate with you because I have a similar experience about how, you know, I reach a point in my life when I just have no more questions. I always used to be keep seeking externally, keep having all kinds of questions. Now I know that I just be in the present moment. Nothing troubles me, right? And even if something worries or burdens me, I just tune in and I get the answers. But very rare, I just enter a state of just I won't say complacency, but contentment is the word.
Yes.
Appreciation
Yes,
for the
absolutely.
moment. Yeah. And I was very inspired by how you told me that, you know, you were when you first wrote your first book, how you got started was, you know, you just one day you just sat down and wrote, okay, this is what I need to do, and you just got inspired and started.
Yeah,
Right. So
I think the core to doing that
Yeah.
is just do it for yourself.
Yes.
Do it because you love
Because
doing
of-
it.
exactly.
And when I was writing a book, I didn't know there would be anyone to publish it. I didn't know there would be anyone to read it.
Yeah.
And actually, for a year, it was absolutely no news about the book. And I self-published. But after a year, I started getting emails from Australia, from Canada, all around the world, and I was surprised. Well, actually, people were saying, "I love it so much. It helped me." And then I realized I did it for myself, but there's always someone out there.
Yes, amazing
will find
synchronicity.
it. Yeah,
Exactly.
all
I mean,
about
for those that are
synchronicity.
meant to come to it, they'll find their way to it.
Yeah.
Right? That's beautiful. You know. Right? Could you share with us a little bit more of the other stuff that you do, the other services that you provide?
The main thing is really I have been assisting people online from all around the world, so it's mostly either emails, telephone calls, Skypes, whatever technology allows us to connect. But when it comes to people who come to visit me, I've been working a bit as a psychic, even though I really don't use this name so often because it's outdated. As we say, everyone is a psychic. But I do like to be physically present in someone to be able to assist them.
Yes.
And I think the greatest challenge for me is that sometimes I know there's not everything I must say because I must allow the other one to walk the path that they choose.
Themselves, definitely.
And I think that's a good tip for all psychics, that we are not here to save anyone. We are to serve, to share, and to connect. And whatever path people choose, whether it would be different from my own choice, it's something valid, something beautiful, and something we can appreciate.
Yes, and you know, I resonate with what you just said. You know, at best we are all guides, right? And we only can point the way, but people have to still to choose with their own free will
Yes.
to walk it. It's just like hiring a gym instructor. Your gym instructor can only guide and teach you the right form and technique of how to create a better
Cannot
body.
do the exercise
Cannot do
for
exercise
you.
for you
Absolutely.
precisely. So we cannot help, and in fact we are not meant to help someone do their evolution.
That's
they
true.
have to evolve on themselves. We only can say this is what works. This is one technique out of many. Or show several techniques and methods that work for them, right? And bring them to it and lead them point the way. But they still have to go. They still have to walk the path themselves. And you know, you were telling me that your father died 2 weeks ago, but you had a very strong connection on the astral plane with him. Could you share with us a little bit of that?
Yeah, it's one of those things that I do. I don't really often talk about that, but very often I'm being contacted by people whose relatives are ill or just about to die, and somehow it happens that I often connect to people who are about to transition to another reality.
Yes.
And my dad was in a coma for about 2 weeks, and I saw him 3 days before he actually transitioned, and it was wonderful to see him happy, as his life was rather a struggle. And also I think for me it's an example that I share with my friends, others, that I don't believe in death at all. I don't see it as something sad. And some of my friends were wondering why
Yes.
sort of sad or depressed, because I know that there's no disconnection
Not at
between
all. In fact,
my
now,
dad and me.
yes.
And probably now we are even closer than we've been ever before, actually.
Because now it's spiritual energies in ethers, it's everywhere.
And also what is interesting that very often people ask me to get messages from those who just passed on. And the message is always really the same. It comes in different forms, but the message is, live your life with joy, live it to the full, be happy, and there's no need to worry about what will be. Your life is to be lived in happiness, in creativity. That's the message.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. It seems so simple, but most people have issues just following something so simple.
Death
advice.
seems to be something scary because it's part of the unknown, but the unknown is just a part of who we are, and it opens up to exploring more of who we are. So there's nothing really scary about it.
Exactly. Speaking of exploring who we are, you were telling me, discussing earlier, we were just discussing this earlier about how, in our dream state or in our meditative state, when we enter a transcendental space, and we perceive all our different parallel simultaneous incarnations and different dimensions and different parallel universes even. Can you share with some of yours, right? Some of your astral projections and travels?
Yes, I think that the main point which the metaphysical community is now really awakening to that realization that what we call past lives, future lives, everything is in the now.
In the now.
So, talking about some unusual, probably not that unusual, but experiences I recall is sometimes I fall asleep at night as everyone else, and sometimes I'm completely aware that I'm awakening somewhere else, and I'm in a completely different reality, and then I know that the life that I'm having right now, right here, is seen just as a dream, and being there is more real.
More real. I get
after
that
a
as
few
well.
minutes, I forget about being here, and I just live my life. And 10 years later, I wake up back in my bed. 10 years on the other side.
On the other side, yes.
Just a couple of hours on this side, and I'm back here, and I know that it happens to.
Yes.
I think that happens to everyone every night.
Every night, but they're not
people
aware.
just don't
Yes,
remember it.
exactly. They don't remember. So the more you meditate, the more you see
become
your dream,
aware of
the more you're
ourselves,
aware of these
we do
things.
remember.
So sometimes I can journey. I sleep for half an hour, but I feel like I journey for several days or weeks. It could be the reverse as well. I could have slept for several hours, but it felt like just 5 minutes trip. Yeah, you can work both ways because time becomes malleable.
Yes, and one of the things that we will see happening now to the global community is that we don't need to sleep
as much
any longer as it used to be. And a lot of people freak out because they say, I have trouble with sleeping, I can't sleep this 7 hours. You don't need to sleep 7 hours.
Exactly.
I sleep on average about 1 hour and a half, 2 hours.
A day? That's it?
Yes,
wow.
that's where I go into deep sleep.
Yeah, deep sleep, yes.
The rest is I'm aware that I'm here and there.
Yes.
In different places, different realities.
Now, in that sense, I'm the same as you. I mean, one hour or 2 hours of very deep sleep where I'm not conscious, and the rest I'm aware that I'm in other dimensions. Right? And living other lifetimes. So I mean, but even then is in that state. The more you meditate, the more you feel energized.
You do, absolutely. And even sometimes, closing your eyes and relaxing and meditating for up to 15 minutes only would completely recharge you. And that's what I do. I do 15 minutes meditations with my clients, my patients, and they usually don't remember what happened in the middle. It's a little bit like hypnosis in a way, because it's a trance. They enter trance and they feel extremely re-energized, refreshed afterwards. So 15 minutes is enough time to rewire your brain, your belief systems.
Yes, that's very true. Right. Raphael, could you tell the audience what are some of your upcoming projects? How are you going to transition next? Where you headed next?
This is always a tricky question for me because, as I said before, we live in the society where we're so used to have goals and projects and plans, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yes.
However, I personally, I am in this space right now that I'm just really so happy with being myself right now, right here in this moment, that I forget about planning, because whatever comes, I know is always for my benefit.
Yes.
And
Perfect.
so, in other terms, I think I do enjoy living my life, looking after myself actually, because I think that when I used to look after everyone else and helping everyone else, which is a great thing, sometimes I discriminated myself and I didn't look after myself as much as I looked after others.
I'm the same.
So I want to be very
I'm
just
learning,
now.
yes,
I said
I'm
it's
learning.
time to bring Raphael to the collective of being helped. I need some
Yes,
help too from
exactly.
myself. So I'm
Because
focusing on being
yours-
this person who can express himself in unconditional love. That's the only goal I have, being unconditional love.
Yes.
And how, when, that's the exciting challenge, to always take all those challenges that come and make love real in any particular way that I choose to.
That's very well said. I can completely agree with you because I went through phases like that as well. Because if we don't take care of ourselves, we have nothing else to offer anyway.
Absolutely.
So sometimes we need even practitioners need to retreat for a while to get grounded, to find a new focus, get re-inspired, and then we can go back up to serve. So we go through
Absolutely.
phases of a lot of service, then we go through a down, slower period where and then we right back up. So it's like up,
Yes.
down, up, down. It's a cycle of life.
It is, and the
Yes, ebb and flow.
greatest service we can always share with others is being happy,
Exactly.
being centered,
Being centered. At
being
peace.
yourself,
Yes,
the
yes,
happy
yes.
self, because then everyone else looks at you and say, what's different about that person?
Exactly.
And
It's
that's
the example you're showing.
this is
Yes.
helping
Yes.
humanity. And we know examples that all big changes in the history started from one person,
Yes.
from one thought,
Yes.
one idea, and
It spreads out.
like wildfire.
Yeah. And the reason it spreads that way is because we're all one and connected. Everything's energy, and the energy just gets rippled up. It's a ripple effect, right? Raphael, you also offer starting to offer massage services. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yes, I mean I've done it for quite some time, but recently I do it more professionally
okay, yes.
because I think that I was looking at different healing modalities, and mostly my way of assisting people in healing is really to giving them information on how they can heal themselves, which involves also nutrition. I'm a nutritionist as well.
It's wonderful.
And I'm very sort of excited about my vegetarian food, etc. But I'm very much promoting organic, natural ways.
Well, in London, where can you go to get organic, vegan, or vegetarian food? Where's some of the best places off the top of your head?
Probably if you come to my apartment, that's the
You
best
cook,
dish
right?
you can
Yes, of
get
course.
in London. I love cooking. Yes, there are some nice places. Definitely, I would say that generally in the last decade, there's definitely more vegetarian,
Proliferation, yeah.
vegan places.
Yeah.
There are some lovely vegan places in East London from the Asian community. Definitely, you can find some nice place. But you have to, if you want something really superb, I've got to cook for you.
All right. Could you tell us how can the audience contact you? Where can they go to buy your books or hire you for one of your consultation or one of your services?
Yes. I personally, I've never been really sort of focusing too much how to sell myself because whoever
just
needs
come
to
anyway.
come to me, they
Yeah.
just come to me.
Yes, correct.
But if someone would like to use my services in whatever area that has been mentioned, feel free to email me. I have a website at this time, but I'm revising it and I'm redesigning it. So right now I won't share it. But email on Facebook or YouTube are always easy ways to get in touch with me.
Right.
I'm out there, and my Facebook page is always open. It's not really personal. It's more for what I do.
I'll be placing his Facebook link below, so feel free to click on it.
Yes.
Right. Could you share with us your email address?
And my email address is very simple. It's Zernoff, Zernoff @.com.
And what is your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel is just my name and surname, Raphael Zernoff. If you type that, all my videos from the last several years with channeling, with different tips on meditating, spiritual development, life coaching, it's all there.
Awesome, right? Please feel free to subscribe to Raphael's channel as well as mine. Alright, thank you again, Raphael. for
Thank you so
spending your
much.
time and giving us, all these wonderful tips and advice
Thank
and
you,
sharing
Luke.
your experience. I learned from you as well, so I really resonate with you, and I'm very grateful to connect with you here in London.
So did I.
Yeah,
We had a
right?
beautiful exchange.
Yes, after chatting with you online for so many months, finally see you in person, it's awesome. So thank you again.
Pleasure's mine.
Thank you guys for watching this video. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel again and look out for more wonderful videos in the future.